How to solve the housing problem, according to me. We've been building and developing for years. And the way I see it is there are two main restrictions to the housing problem. One is all the red tape that a usual person has to go to, such as a developer, has to go through to develop a site. Why do sites get developed? Well, the demographics change. Some of these outer suburbs, when I first moved to Australia, are now inner suburbs. And all those houses are something like 50 to 60 to 70 years old, way past their use-by date. I mean, these are the typical fibro homes that you sort of saw that were cheaply built. And they're like small 15 square homes on a large block of 700 to 800 square meters. It is a complete waste of space. Why not knock that house down and develop 4 or 5 smaller houses on that property, affordable, next to train stations, nearby shops, and or maybe change the whole area into a more livable space. Maybe even 2. I can understand some arguments that sometimes there's more traffic and there's cars on the streets and all that sort of stuff. But if you actually plan it properly and zone it near train stations or near parks, near parking spaces, I should say, then the problem is fine. We're relying less on cars. And if the shops are nearby, it's a walking distance thing. But councils, developers fight and fight and fight and fight because it becomes unfeasible. Why? I don't know if you know this, but there's a typical process of a thing called town planning. And me as a developer will buy a site, look at it, what it's zoned, and if it's zoned for X amount of properties, that has to be minimum requirements for this and service and for parking spaces, we drop a set of plans according to that. And then literally, depending on who's looking at it in council, will be determined if I'm allowed to go ahead and do that project. Our personal experience is that we've gone and bought sites before that have said high density. My neighbour, the lot next to me, wanted to build 4 townhouses on a normal plain site. The council turned around and said to him, underutilisation. You have to build more density in that block. So he was forced to waste more money, go back to an architect and design 3-story building with 8 apartments inside of it. Now, for you people that don't know, building a commercial building that needs fire safety, that needs fire sprinklers, that has apartments are way more expensive to build than standard townhouses. Fast forward a year and a half later, I buy next door and I say, I want to build 6 townhouses, 6 2-bedroom townhouses, which would have been really affordable for people to move in the area. A great house product that young couples could have easily bought into the area. Why? Because the price difference between a 3-bedroom townhouse and a 2-bedroom townhouse was hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it would have been a great start for people in their price range. Do you know what council told me? Council said, oh, no. Too dense. We want 4 townhouses. We want you to build 3 4-bedroom townhouses, the expensive ones. Because if I subdivide my land that I paid for, and in order for me to make a profit on this project, in order for me to show the bank that it's profitable at the end to fund the project, I have to sell them at a really expensive rate. And I have to build them at a certain quality. And I have to build them at a really hundreds of thousands of dollars more than what I anticipated to sell them for. Do you see the insanity? And you know what the difference was? It was just who read it in council. And what was a decision in VCAT. This is the tricks that they tell you. What's the other problem? The other problem was that while I'm waiting to do this stuff, I am getting hit with land taxes. I'm paying thousands and thousands of dollars, not hundreds, thousands of dollars each year, while councils twiddle their thumbs and look at your plans and suggest you something else and tell you to plant a tree here. And I don't like the way that it looks. I want you to change this articulation and do a little bit more here, make it a little bit more funky. Oh, I don't like that today. But clearly the rules that you set up for me when I bought that property that I paid premium price for said A, B, C, D. And now you've decided that no, the new rules are EFG, whatever you feel like it. This is the reality of what's going on in the housing market. All this red tape and all this extra stuff and all these taxes for holding the property just goes on and on and on. And what does that mean? Less affordable homes, less homes being built. If you think that and then just so you know, every person that does a development, the councils just want you to pay a contribution tax. Just a tax, just for the reason for you actually building homes, for you actually making the area better. What looks more nicer? A whole bunch of new energy efficient homes in affordable price range, or some shitty old fibre home sitting on a large block doing nothing, falling apart, spending way more energy to heat and cool than all those homes combined together. So the next time you go around and you start seeing development, just remember how much money it actually takes to cost and to build. And the vast majority of your final price is just the councils and the state governments putting taxes and pressure on developers. I'd love to go out and buy houses and build and develop and change demographics, because we need more houses near train stations or near better areas. And some of these houses have gone past their use by date. We don't need any more of 2,000 square metre blocks with one house on it next to the middle of a town where it can be utilised a lot better. Pay for that land, get someone to build some more houses nearby so a lot more people can share in that area. This is the difference between what they tell you versus what the reality is. If you want to know more about what you've heard today, like and subscribe and ask some questions in the comment sections. And that way I can create more content to help you guys understand what's really going on.